Welcome everybody to this summary video for the Tau FireWarrior Cosplay Helmet. I'm Jason, the creator of the tabletop battlefield. And after this video today, we're going to be done with the basic construction of the helmet. So we're well past the design phase. We've got it all built, did a lot of finishing work and detailing work. Now today, we're going to work mostly on the antenna of the helmet. The approach that I've used for building the antenna was I first looked at a Games Workshop picture of the actual Tau FireWarrior miniature. Unfortunately, I used a breacher team instead of a strike team, so technically I have the wrong antenna here, but that's just details. But what I did is I initially went ahead and I approximated the sketch on a piece of paper and I kind of figured out the dimensions. Now, if you're able to read my handwriting, here's the dimensions of my antenna. Then I went ahead and actually figured out the exact dimensions, transferred them over to some cardboard from food packaging, and I was going to use that cardboard templates to then cut out the various other materials that the antenna is going to be built out of. Most of the antenna is built out of foam core board. This is the typical stuff, the kind of 3D puzzly stuff, and it's great for any kind of relatively small, lightweight, 3D constructed object. Now, one of the problems I had with the previous helmet's antenna was that it broke, just like the actual GW miniatures. So what I'm going to do around this time is in addition to cutting out the various pieces out of foam core board, I'm going to give the antenna a core of sheet aluminum. Using a pair of fancy sheet metal cutters, you can see me here cutting out the piece of aluminum. Now it's just a little bit smaller than the foam core pieces, and that's just for safety reasons, but it does have a little extra piece at the top that's going to be used to attach the very end cap of the antenna onto. Alright, so here I've got my aluminum core as well as all my different foam core pieces. I'm going to stick them together using some PVA glue. So take a piece, put PVA glue down, attach a layer to it, more PVA glue, attach a layer, and so on until you have all the different pieces of the foam core board as well as the aluminum core board all glued together. I also went ahead at the bottom of the antenna and attached a washer there to get a little bit extra detail. And for the end cap of the antenna, I used an end cap off an old marker. Time to set the antenna aside while the glue dries a little bit. We'll come back to it in just a few minutes. But what we're going to work on now is first I'm going to cut out the view screen. This is actually the area in the sensor screen that I'm looking through when I'm wearing the costume. I held the mask up to my face, and based on where it's holding, I was kind of be able to figure out approximately, okay, where am I going to be looking out of? Unfortunately, there's not a really great angle for me to look out of this particular helmet, but I did find a decent enough space there right below the main LED at the top. I then traced out the shape on the inside of the sensor screen where it's going to be my view area, and I cut it out using my box cutter. In the next video in this series, I'm going to go ahead and install some material in there so you can see out, but people can't see in. One more thing before we return to the antenna is I need to build the antenna mount. Just like with everything up to the helmet at this point, I'm just going ahead and tracing a template out of some cardboard here. It's a little bit bigger than the base of the antenna, just so I can attach it to the helmet itself. But then I go ahead and I cut it out of foam and I coat it in Warbler. I found out the best way to attach this piece to the helmet was actually with hot glue, so eventually that's what I did. I used hot glue to attach this piece to the helmet where it's going to be. Let's jump back to the antenna and finish that part up. I want to give my antenna a metallic look. That way it looks like the actual miniatures that may still have an actual antenna attached to them. I don't think any of my FireWarriors do anymore because the miniature antennas either broke or I just stopped attaching them because they always broke. But to give them a metallic look, what I'm using is HVAC tape. This is actually tape you can use on heating and ventilation systems. It's a bright, shiny tape, and it's great for giving things a shiny metallic finish. So very carefully, I'm wrapping a HVAC tape around the entire antenna, and then that'll give it the nice metallic finish that I want. The last part, which proved to be a little tricky because they kept falling off, was to attach a magnet to the end of the antenna and also to the antenna mount. Therefore, I can be able to remove this antenna for storage purposes. Well, it was a bit of an adventure trying to attach these magnets onto the helmet, but it looks like a combination of super glue, hot glue, as well as Gorilla Glue seemed to do the trick. With that all done, I can go ahead and call the main structural portion of this build done. On the next episode, we'll talk about painting, detailing, and building the fittings inside so you can actually wear this thing on your head. So with all that out of the way, once again, I'm Jason, the creator of the tabletop battlefield. To find the rest of these videos, subscribe here on this YouTube channel. And of course, you can always watch live over at twitch.tv/Rocker Robotics. Thanks for watching and have a good night.